Welcome to the Really Good Emails Awards for 2025. We had so much fun last year that we wanted to run it back and do it again. We just had a lot of fun with this one. We like to look at the emails that people have sent throughout the year. And it's just a good time to reflect on everyone's hard work throughout the year and celebrate some email submissions that we thought stood out to us. We are joined with some awesome characters. We branched out this year to include some guest judges as well. So how about Justine, you start with a little introduction about yourself.
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Justine, and I only wish I was like as cool and a badass as my avatar makes me look on this thing. I wish I had a heart-covered shield in real life, but I am the head of strategy and community here at Be Free and Really Good Emails. I've been doing this email thing for something like 20 years now, and so I'm going to come at you with some hot opinions and some, I think, a little bit of jealousy over Liana's cats in her avatar. So...
Is that my cue?
It is.
Yes, my avatar is perfectly accurate, except for the purple trench coat, which is in my closet right now. I'm Leanna Patch. I'm a conversion copywriter. I write a lot of emails. I have a lot of opinions about emails that my fellow judges helpfully help me understand as they're unfounded, because I often don't know what I'm talking about outside of words, but I'm going to do my best, as we all are. And now that you trust me so much, I'll pass it to Megan.
Hello, that is what I look like. This is a filter today. That is the actual me. But yeah, I'm Megan Sokolnicki. I am an email designer. Been in the industry a little over a decade, I guess. So yeah, doing all things email design for Emma and Campaign Monitor.
Awesome. And I'm Matt Helbig. I lead up all the email submissions on Really Good Emails. So I'm excited to jump in here and start showcasing your emails. All right, just to kind of set us up a little bit more, the lore around the Really Good Emails Awards. We try to take a pause from doom scrolling once a year to spotlight the emails that earned the most attention from us. We try to look at what we think stands out. As always, we try to, with all the emails featured on Really Good Emails, we run them through a gamut of different specs and checks before they actually hit the site. So these are the best of the best, I think. And how we chose them this year. So we actually opened up email submissions at the beginning of the probably like December. I think we received over 300 email submissions from a bunch of email marketers. So definitely it was great to see that. And then this year we put a extra level on us so that every single email featured in this deck used live text. So last year, a few all-image emails snuck in, but this year we're definitely focusing on accessibility and use of that live text. So claps for that. And we picked these categories. We picked 11 different categories. These are a reflection of what we saw trending on Really Good Emails, what people are searching for the most. So we think this is a good representation of the types of emails that we're seeing in 2025 on Really Good Emails. So I'm excited to jump into the different categories. And lastly, just to say, why was my, industry, what my section was not covered. Here are some different topics that we saw a little bit of trend going for in 2025, but we didn't think that they had a full category, but there's some cool little pieces in here that we'll maybe see trending next year. Specifically like these creator-led brands, these influencer brands doing email marketing. And then also things like back to school, we saw a big influx this year of those type of campaigns. So
this is a sneak peek is what you're telling us.
Sneak peek, yes.
Matt's predictions for 2026.
Exactly.
I love it.
Is everyone ready?
I am ready. Can I press the button on my screen? Do I have a touch screen? No, but I'm trying.
I think we need a little bit more hype in the chat. I think we need a little bit more hype, because
Get Matt to press start. Otherwise, he might just stay on the screen.
I have a confetti cannon. Should we launch it off?
It's time.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well.
It's not even a question.
Don't start a fire.
Woo!
Yeah,
I love it.
I did not expect a real life confetti cannon.
It's a lot of cleanup, but it's worth it. So, all right, let's get started. As I get the confetti off my keyboard, but
you have a big one on your shoulder too.
Okay. Well, first up, we got Megan with the welcome series emails.
Yeah, I'm bummed I didn't think to bring a confetti cannon for this, but First category, welcome to the Welcome Series. So yeah, this category is all going to be all about the brands that made a great first impression. So thinking about email us starting a relationship, our welcome emails, kind of our meet cute, if you will. So yeah, see really, why you're here, what relevance they have to you, and what next actions you have to start the game. Okay, honorable mentions. So each of these sections do have honorable mentions because we couldn't showcase just one, So honorable mentions for this category, we have Flav City and Monday. Yeah, and before even diving into the content, I think both of these do a really nice job of just showcasing really strong branding and really strong intention. You get that kind of warm welcome and really intentional graphics that play well to each brand's strengths. Yeah, especially with the Flav City one, just looking at that balance of live text and images, well, really both of them do a really nice job of that. And with the Flav City example, I love to see, incorporating a graphic with a background color that also uses live text. It has that impact of creating this graphic with being a lot more accessible. So yeah, I love to see that and just the subtle movement of the wavy lines. Really love both of these.
I'm also seeing a hardcore like callback to the Design Trends webinar with the rounded corners.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. I want to point out one thing in the Monday email copy-wise that I really like, a classic trick. They say, we'll get straight to it so you can start shipping software fast. So you can is the best way to make sure that your copy is actually telling the reader what is in it for them. And so if you're reading through your copy and you're like, I don't know if this is really talking to them, see if you can add so you can. And that's actually what you're trying to say. And I love that they have it in the first sentence.
Yeah, some really good standout examples. I know Monday.com has a really good onboarding series, so definitely wanted to highlight that one. All right, we'll keep moving. This is the only countdown I've included. The rest ones won't have a countdown. So
Can we get like a drum roll?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. And the winner is
Claude. Congratulations, Claude. Yeah, I think really this is what we look for in a really successful welcome email, because right off the bat, the branding is styled really nicely and is really giving you that clear purpose. And what's especially nice about this is they use these visuals that explain the relevance to you. When I think of a welcome email, it's like you've already taken that first action. So to get a welcome email that says, okay, take this action and this action, it's demanding a lot from you. So I like to see how they are giving you that warm welcome and also saying, here's how we can benefit you. Good job. You made a good choice. Let's continue this relationship together. So I think the gift does an excellent job of just kind of showing you what they're all about and just welcoming you to the team, essentially.
One of my favorite B2B SaaS welcome email tactics is an animated GIF that shows off what you can do.
I think, I don't know if you're done talking about this, Justine. I don't want to interrupt.
Go for it. It's all yours.
I will say, I think welcome to Claude as a subject line, we could try a little more, but this is tricky for them, right? Because they're talking about work and life. And so it's such a broad audience. And I like how they've said, instead of trying to appeal to one or the other and make you pick right here, they say, we're your intelligent collaborator for both. And then another great classic copy thing that they're doing is imagine having. It's a great thing to do in a welcome email, showcase the future that your reader wants. And formatting wise, bullets make it easier to read. We have the same CTA throughout, start your first chat. And so we know exactly what we need to do, where we're going when we click, and what they can help us do when we get there.
Yeah, for me, I like this kind of setup here where we kind of on this left screenshot of like a little bit of like setting up some jobs to be done and like how to get started. To me, that like is really smart. And if we look at like the whole onboarding series, it's like a touch point of 1 of 5. So throughout this, they kind of set up these kind of problems and how to use Claude to solve them. So I really like that framing and the whole onboarding series. While these are pretty dense, I think spreading them out across like a couple different sends over time kind of flows through like what you want to do with the product and sets you up for success. So,
and I'm a sucker for those icons. I just love seeing an icon list like that, and love it. And it's a really nice design system too, to see that they all follow the same structure and the changes isn't in you get that immediate brand recognition and kind of subconsciously know what to expect throughout the series, and using the copy to really reinforce the relevance of each of those sends. So, really nice job.
I would also bet money that that second email, those 5 things, are directly from usage data or customer research. Like, this is how other people are using Claude, and probably how they use it too.
Actually, it's a really good point, because when I first signed up for Claude, I was looking in my own inbox for these emails, and I didn't get them when I first bought Claude, which is probably a little over a year ago. So you can tell that they've been iterating on this as they've learned over time, which is also just a really cool piece of evidence on how to make that come to life.
This is your data, Justine.
Ooh, that's
You
really
started thinking about you, and they were like,
really frightening, but also probably very true. Yes.
All right, we gotta keep moving to the next one here. We got review and testimonials. These ones were definitely popular. Everyone wants to include some sort of social proof in their emails this year. So Megan, take this one away.
Yeah, as LeVar Burton would say, don't take our word for it. So yeah, these brands did a great job of not just singing their own praises, but letting their work and their customers or members speak for them to give that really nice social proof and that brand buy-in. So let's take a look at honorable mentions. Okay, we got Hims and Milk Bar. I really like both of these emails for different reasons too. I think they both have different approaches that work really successfully for them. So love the headline with the play on "Hear It From Him." Liana might have a different opinion, but I do enjoy that. And it gets really, right into the meat of it, showing the testimonials without a big kind of sales pitch to follow it with. So I think it does a really nice job of just getting to the good stuff there. And Milk Bar kind of has a different approach on it, which is, let's tie this into, again, the relevance to you and use a quote to support this idea. So give it as a gift. Here's a really strong headline, nice hierarchy throughout, and then that animated GIF showing these reviews that support that. So yeah, I think they both do a really nice job in different ways.
Yeah, the GIF is a super slick way to pack a bunch of testimonials into one piece of real estate. Was that what you were going to say, Justine?
I not only was going to say that, but also that imagery. I mean, if you've ever had like milk treats, like they are just like delicious. And that imagery is making my mouth water right now. Yeah. So I always love how imagery or like copy in an email can like elicit like real human reactions. And so, yes, like give me that cookie, please.
Yeah. Also, I like get your snaps as a CTA because it's a double entendre, like you earned this in 2 ways. And using a piece of social proof as a subject line in quotes is so effective all the time in my experience. Just like, okay, I got to see these best cookies. It's like a challenge.
For sure. All right, let's move over to the winner, Shift Robotics.
Woohoo! I'm a big fan of this one. You might not be able to see all of it because it is a long email, but these are selling moon shoes, or actually they're called moon walkers, but I'm calling them moon shoes just in my head. So a unique product, and they have a unique challenge because it is a unique product. And I think it's really smart for them to use a testimonial kind of email to showcase their product and other people that love that. So essentially it's shoes on wheels. So I really like how they still have a strong headline, strong call to action, and then they really lean into this really great product photography and this vertical style of it too. Really doesn't distract from your call to action, but it really compels you to scroll down to the testimonial. So I think it's really smart for this brand to lead into this kind of approach. And now I've gone down a rabbit hole on these moon shoes. So it worked for me.
Is this on your Christmas list? Are you hoping that Santa brings you moonwalkers?
For everybody.
What I think is interesting is they're doing this very affiliative thing in the copy. It's an appeal to futurists, right? Like you want to feel like you're part of that leading edge. Anywhere else I see the phrase leading edge, I'm like, you got to earn that. But if they're an actual robotics company making leading edge technology, I'll allow it. And so it's like, who is it for? You, because you're this like futuristic forward thinker and you can join this elite group of moonwalkers. Like that's kind of an invitation to the right person.
I saw someone bringing up the like contrast with the bold CTA as well, and I'm going to keep referring back to our email design trends webinar that we did just like a couple months ago, where bright bold CTAs were definitely one of our trends. So I love that we're incorporating some of those trends into our award winners here. Definitely worth a look at that one too.
Yeah, I think they kind of pepper that social proof throughout a lot of their emails, kind of, looking at the different sends that they're doing. So definitely an effective way to sort of add a little bit of kind of a testimonial or social proof into your emails. I think it can be like a little extra bit that you can add into different parts of your emails, or like in this welcome example, like right next to your product, to kind of just show that, other people enjoy it. So a nice little element there that I really liked. So.
Also, just the visual consistency with the series is incredible.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And
sorry, go on, Megan.
Oh, no, I'm just going to say it's nice to see retail emails not having to be so salesy all the time. I think that's an easy trap of just like, buy now, here's a discount. And they do that, but they also balance it really nicely with this, how the benefit and what other people think. So I think they're really clever with their concepts, but also just the visual styling is chef's kiss.
Yeah. I know we have to move on. Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Okay, email 2. Things that I love: telling the story of the origin of the product, explaining that it's good for commuting, which is like, oh, we're building a walkable future. I love that. And then that first headline, walk 3 times faster without breaking a sweat. They could have easily just written, walk faster with moonwalkers, or walk faster with shift boots, or whatever. But they made it specific and quantifiable. And then they added that without piece. That's like, without the thing that you hate, or the thing that keeps you from walking for your commute, because you don't want to arrive sweaty at work. So great formula.
Fantastic. All right, moving over to data visualization.
Yes. In this category, it's not just numbers. It's not saying, look at our numbers. It's what are we actually doing with that data? How are we using those numbers and that information we know about you to craft a story that compels engagement and hopefully action? So the honorable mentions for this category, drumroll, Grammarly and Red Cross. I really enjoy both of these emails, and they have a lot of similarities between them design-wise, because they've got a really nice use of color blocking those different sections. And again, they're not saying, here's how much we raised this year. It's not just kind of giving you their general metrics. They've really personalized the metrics to your experience and creating that kind of personal connection with you that shows they're paying attention, but not in a creepy way. I guess they could go creepy very fast. And it's nice to see too that both of these emails use live text to show those numbers and iconography. And I think that's a really nice way to do that, rather than creating these graphics that show everything. Makes it scalable so they could send it to everyone in their audience. And yeah, really, again, prioritizing that live text and accessible experience.
The thing that has always stood out to me, and why I love Grammarly emails in particularly so much, is that they become a part of the product experience. I don't have to get out of my inbox to go, be prompted to use the product, gamify my product experience. I think it's such a clever use of B2B or email, particularly in like a B2B products landscape.
I was going to say, and even B2C for retail users of Grammarly, this is a great retention play, because it's very easy to be like, I got to cut subscriptions. I haven't thought about Grammarly in a while, but this keeps reminding them of the value week after week.
Yeah, we definitely see a lot of, more this year than ever, is a lot of those wrapped campaigns. So whenever you can sort of think about using your data to just kind of show off what's been going on in your product, or making it very personal to the subscriber, I think that people really enjoy now. I think they're kind of moving away from it being super creepy and more like, they're interested in some of that. All right, going over to the winner, we got McDonald's.
Woohoo! I am kind of obsessed with this email, honestly. I know it's McDonald's, but I really just, I think they're so clever with how they've approached this, because it really is using the data that they have on you, which, let's be honest, could not be the most flattering if they're like, hey, you ate 50 cheeseburgers this month or something, they've got dirt on you, or like what time you usually go. Like, we don't need to know that. But instead, they've used that data in a really like personal way to give you this persona. And for me, it's like, oh, okay, I'm learning something. You're paying attention. I'm learning something about myself. And I think it's just, it's really clever and visually really striking. But even without the nice graphic, obviously it's got nice movement. It's designed very well. They still have the headline and the text in live text. So even if you're not able to experience that image for whatever reason, you're still getting that same value of what they're sharing. So I think they do a really nice job of balancing both.
A real quick, since you mentioned live text, someone in the chat was asking if we could explain what that is. And so this is a good opportunity to do that. So live text is any text that isn't part of an image. It means that it's text that is, when we say live, it's actual, written text, and it's not like in Canva that you've exported as a PNG or a JPEG. And the benefit of live text is that it's readable even when images are turned off. Yeah, so text that's in HTML format.
You already know I love the headline, right? The superstar. I also like that they're taking advantage of this like trending tarot thing. I wish they called them potero cards instead of potato. I don't know. That's not working, is it? And then the subject line with the casual "you are" is very much in line with their normal voice, I think, on their billboards, where they shorten everything. It feels very casual because that's how McDonald's is supposed to fit into your life, right?
Yeah, across their emails, I think they just do a really good job of like making them feel very thematic. Like in this Minecraft version, they're taking a different take on their logo, and then I'm really impressed that they're just able to use live text throughout a lot of their emails, even with something like on that Buffalo Ranch example with a little bit of a gradient. So I just think across the board they do a fantastic job of taking risks and making the emails feel really exciting and cool to open, but also still keeping a lot of live text in there, which is nice to see.
It's also a great example of how like any brand can experiment, and you don't have to follow this strict samesies template from send to send, especially when you have strong brand principles and copy and other things in place.
And then we got a quote from Jason from Digitas, which is the creative agency behind some of these emails.
Yes, I can read it. Sorry. Yeah. So Jason said, a good email earns attention, delivers value, and makes the next action feel obvious. Yeah, couldn't agree more, Jason. And yeah, that's clearly they have a great team of graphic designers on staff making these. So it's just really nice to see that balance, like you all said, of graphics and just accessible principles that we know make those effective emails.
For sure. All right, let's move on. A lot of people have asked dark mode questions, so I'm excited for this one.
Yes, dark mode. Yeah, so this is really just making sure that, everyone, every player, every device has access to these emails without barriers. So just really designing with every experience in mind. And of course, there's a lot of different avenues we could talk about with accessibility, but we'll especially look at dark mode with these winners.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for us to find, test every single email for dark mode on really good emails before we add it to the site. But we specifically looked at emails that had elements that, if a email client supported dark mode styling, that's kind of what we were looking at for this one.
Yes. So our honorable mentions, Wealth Simple and Zillow. Oh yeah, they're going back and forth from light to dark. I really love to see this because it's clear that they have prioritized both experiences. I think it's really easy for dark mode to feel like an afterthought. So seeing that there's no loss in value or experience between the two, it's just really nice, really thoughtful, and just with their overall design principles, they use some of the same techniques with either color blocking certain sections or using a border, which I think lends itself really nicely to the transition back and forth. Love how Zillow swapped out their logo, just little things like that. Same experience, just fine-tuned, or same value, but just fine-tuned for each of those experiences.
Definitely. All right. And the winner for this one is DoorDash.
Yeah, same thing with this, but DoorDash really goes above and beyond with the dark mode experience. It's clear they have separate styling set up for dark mode preferences. So they really lean into that. They have a nice brand personality, and they're really showcasing what you can do between light and dark, not necessarily meaning having to be always black. So you can see throughout their whole, series of campaigns, they kind of showcase different kind of dark color schemes without having to fit one certain model. So really like to see the personality there. And yeah, they know their audience, they know they can have fun with it. And it's just exciting to see.
I also love that we've moved away from the abandoned cart trend of like, you forgot this, you huge
Mhm.
idiot, come back and finish paying us. It's more like supportive. We saved this for you. We're here for you. Kind of like we've got your back instead of you made a mistake.
Yeah, don't shame me into action, please,
Right.
unless you have a very specific brand voice that you're trying to go for there.
Right. Very few can get away with it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a quote from Tyler from DoorDash.
Yeah. And I love this. He said, great email doesn't feel like email. It's the product you're already using. Consistent, seamless, allowing you to appreciate the design without being jarred from the experience. So I love that.
Yeah, one thing we say is, really good email is an extension of product a lot of times. So it's really great to see that, an email that does feel like that. All right. Well, how are people feeling so far? We got a lot of questions, a little breather here between sections. But yeah,
Stretch break.
exciting. Stretch break, everyone. Here's a little, comparison. So for subject lines, every year we kind of look at what emails we have on the site, how 2024 compared to 2025 when it comes to subject lines. This year in 2025, we definitely saw a lot more subject lines kind of leading with what the email does for you and what you get. So kind of having that value prop being right in the email. I think we're still seeing effective hooks like that curiosity hook where it's like open to reveal or something like that. But we've seen them a little less vague and a little bit more direct about what the email is actually going to do, which I think kind of can help you stand out in the inbox. And as we get, AIs, leading to a lot more one-to-one communications when it comes to personalization, we're seeing a lot more subject lines kind of be a little bit more narrow and specific to you as an individual. So to me, that's like a good extension of, making an email feel more one-to-one, a little bit more personalized in the subject line. It feels like it's for you. And we're also seeing a little bit, this one is probably not as big of a trend, but just including some more numbers, statistics, like actual measurements, like maybe in the subject line versus more just like vague language. So just a little bit more direct and concrete this year compared to last year.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So before I get into my categories and award winners, I wanted to share something super cool with you. So one of the things I love the most about just the email community overall is how curious we all are. Like you can't really go to college for email marketing, and practical courses on how to build a great HTML email don't really exist. And web tutorials suck because the rendering, let's just admit it, it would be a disaster. And so for as long as I've been doing email, I and everyone I know has been learning by like inspection and observation. You like save emails, you pull them apart, you attend these webinars, you do everything you can to like dig in and like see what makes them tick like under the hood. And that process can be super messy. Like have you ever tried to inspect the code from like the email on the phone on your mobile device? It is basically impossible. So you got to get the source, like rebuild it in your favorite editor and kind of like hope for the best. And so this is why I love BeFree's HTML importer. We introduced this earlier this year, and it makes it super easy to bring an existing email into the editor, understand the structure of the email, and then make all the changes you want, like changing layouts, colors, spacing, bringing in your brand, instead of starting from scratch. And so if you want to learn more about this very cool I almost thank you for whoever put that up. You can answer this awesome poll, and we can get you all the information you need to start creating your own award-winning designs. And what I really love, again, about the HTML importer is that it helps you go from inspiration to creation faster. And if you've ever like just stared at a blank template and you're frozen because you don't even know how to do that cool thing you saw in this webinar, you can start with references, layer on ideas, and like kind of learn by experience and seeing and doing. I know that I am a kinesthetic learner. I cannot learn from watching a video or reading something. I have to put my hands on a thing and see how it works. So HTML importer is a great way to do that. So Check it out, or we're happy to tell you more.
Yeah, I've been blown away with the results. With really good emails when we jumped on to be free, like having to import our templates was such a hassle, having to rebuild everything. But literally just putting our existing HTML into the importer and it, being edible within Be Free right away definitely saved us a bunch of time. So
It's a hardcore migration assistant tool as well, that's for sure.
definitely. All right, Justine's nonprofit and purpose emails.
Woohoo! All right. So thank you for voting in that poll. And so nonprofit and purpose is one of my favorite categories. It's just a hard job to do. And so I want to stop for a second and just thank all the nonprofit folks who might be in the chat today. Like, I see you. And I thank you for your hard work and all of the effort that you put in, because these emails have a really tough job to do. They have to spark a human and emotional connection between the audience and the company's mission. So let's check out some of our honorary mentions. Two of my favorite brands, and GoFundMe and Caring Bridge, which my submission didn't make the cut, by the way, but that's okay. So GoFundMe and Caring Bridge were in particular very full circle for me, because I needed those services this year to set up sites for a very dear friend of mine that was going through cancer treatment. And so the other runner-up is Suffolk Libraries. And I feel like a broken record. This is like the fourth time I've mentioned the Email Design Trends webinar. But in our past trends, you can see how Suffolk Libraries in particular uses these imagery that helps guide the user down the page. So not only are they telling a story in their copy, but they're also telling a story with the visuals and helping you, make that kind of like human emotional connection to the brand. They're asking you to believe in something bigger, tying together clarity, purpose, great copywriting, and most importantly, a clear CTA.
Yeah, we don't get a ton of nonprofit email submissions. So if anyone has any great nonprofit emails, definitely send to us. But I think for both these examples, just shows you that nonprofits don't have to be boring. The design can be good. It can be elevated. It can help communicate the message really effectively.
Totally.
That one sentence, "You've already made a difference," I think is probably super effective. And I feel like nonprofits, especially in rescue and in fundraising, have a lot of issues with compassion fatigue, where it's like, yes, the problems are endless and we all know that and we're being barraged by it. So pointing out that your contributions have actually made a difference is more likely to get you to keep donating versus like, hey, there are still 500 more fundraisers you could contribute to. Not that that was on the table for them, but maybe it was.
I completely agree with all of that, especially the through line for the forest of the stories. It's just really nice, and they do a really nice job of balancing that illustration style. And on mobile too, nothing's really lost. You still have that same kind of fluidity throughout. So that's nice to see. And just a quick note on the GoFundMe, just the image of the slide roll instead of just a standard image feels so intentional and purposeful to me. I'm looking through friends' photos, and when I first looked at this, I thought I did not expect to have an emotional reaction to that, but I did, because it does feel like you're just thumbing through something. So yeah, I like both of these a lot.
I love that, and also that you recognized it. That's so cool.
All right, the winner, which their emails are so great. Charity Waters, our winner for this category.
I love Charity Waters emails. So one of the things that stood out to me about this one, storytelling seems to be all the rage right now. I think it's this central news story to how we're learning to live with AI and balance this new world of like automation and humanity. And so Charity Water does such a good job of taking what could be a very like text dense story and bringing it to life with typography, white space, even this like test in the middle of the email. If you've been doing email for long enough, when like interactivity was all the rage a few years ago and like this complicated code. I love these really simple ways to help people feel engaged with the brand and again, feel like emotionally connected to the story, especially in something like this. Like I'm learning, I'm connecting, there's some interactivity. It just ticks all those boxes and makes it feel really awesome. And then if you look at the whole series, especially if you are a typography nerd like me, that second email in, they have that big, juicy smart quote in the headline. A smart quote is one that uses the curly bit and it's not just like a tick mark. And so I am a big nerd for a good smart quote and good use of typography. So you just see that all over these series where it's accessible. And that's even a really important consideration, especially in this category, given the ethical mandate.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of things we talked about, congratulating the reader for being part of it. And one thing I'm noticing is the repetition of that photo with the good news banner underneath it, which, like, if we open it and we see an image like this, we don't know if this is going to be a plea for help or a celebration. And so they're explicitly, like, as we're scanning, saying, this is an email that's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, and from the visual perspective, like they are really, really experts at crafting this warm imagery that provokes some emotion and has that softness. And again, is focusing on their copy and not a plea for something, rather something that feels a little more personal to you. And I like how restrained they are with their graphics too. They're simple and intentional, and they just do a really great job of that.
And we got a fantastic quote that I really loved.
I love that we reached out to the creators of these emails too and got a story from them. So if any of you are in the chat, I want to hear from you. But Anthony here was, again, talking about that sense of belonging and how there's no one easy way to do that and to spark that authentic connection between a nonprofit email and its audience.
All right, next up, thank you campaigns. We definitely saw an increase this year of thank yous being searched for. So I'm excited to dive into this one.
Yeah, and thank you campaigns are really interesting to me too, because even if we show the honorary mentions, you can see that they represent all kinds of different ways of saying thank you. It could be like, thank you for placing an order, thank you for your loyalty over the year, thank you for signing up for our emails. And so the 2 honorary mentions, you get a blend of all of these things. The example from Waymo, which incorporates some of the elements we talked about in our early award winners, like data analysis. But in this case, it's really thanking you for your loyalty and for being a steward of the brand and for utilizing their service. Whereas the email from Postable, another area where I get really, really nerdy about email that's hard to do well, is to display data automatically and something that could be super boring, like an order confirmation. And so this one is like visually stunning. The information is still clear. You could tell that whoever designed this pulled in all of the information and arranged it in a really intentional way. I also love the transparency at the bottom there about needing to cancel. People have to go digging, begging for customer service. It like ticks all of those emails and makes what could be a really boring transactional email like very engaging.
All right, and the winner here is Attentive.
Yeah, Attentive takes, this is a thank you email for signing up for their campaigns or for their email program. And they offer a lot of value. One of my golden rules for a thank you for signing up email is that you give people a sneak peek and a payoff on what they're going to get by signing up for your emails. And Attentive just does such a good job with this here. So you can see the rest of the email here, but links to all the stuff that you can see in the campaigns, as well as some clear CTAs, bold colors. I don't know. Good copy. What do you say?
Yeah, they're doing the same thing Claude was doing in that second email, where it's like, here is your menu of things you can do, probably ranked by what we know people want to do most. And then that 42 SMS and email ideas to inspire your next campaign, that's more interesting than just anything without the number, right? So we have the specificity again, and then we have that catch-all CTA at the bottom, discover how the best brands use SMS, where we're moving more toward that like aspirational, be one of the best that we saw in Moonwalkers.
And there's 2 more here. They're really like saying thank you in both these emails, which I thought was really interesting.
The CEO is doing a gratitude practice.
Yeah, I just love how the consistency plays through.
Yeah, I thought this was really interesting too. This webinar, like sending a thank you gift after the webinar, attending the webinar.
Yeah.
Definitely seeing a little bit more brands try out something like that. It definitely feels like you're being seen. So very good emails.
I maintain that the physical world is going to be our differentiator in this world of AI and constant outreach. Like, what's real? A thing that arrives at my house that you gave me is always real.
All right. Retention campaigns.
Yeah. So this one is all about those emails, I guess, that keep coming you back for more, whether it's more great emails or really great products. So yeah, that consistency over time is what makes a stellar relationship. So we've got, how do I pronounce this? Is it Pelago?
That sounds right. That sounds
All
good.
right. It's like Zapier. Is it Zapier or Zapier? But in both of these scenarios, I just love, don't want to steal all the copywriting thunder, but I love Clio's brand voice in particular. Like they made all those headlines a few years back about being really sassy and like knowing their audience. So I think especially if you're enticing someone to come back, especially if they've lapsed, or you want them to keep on engaging with you, to really know what resonates and to incorporate that into that story, makes a really big difference.
Yeah, for me, for retention, I think we see that a lot of brands do sort of like, especially in SaaS, do like product updates, and I do feel like you can fall into a trap of just talking about yourself all the time. But I do feel like the brands that do it well position, company updates is how it can save you time, how it can make you more productive, things like that. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, and this was like how we heard your feedback is always, I would say it's a trope. I think it's a very good one because to say like, to address someone's need and like make them feel heard and listened to can be a really effective strategy as well.
All right, the winner for this one is Lush.
Lush. And what a lush email. Their imagery, this just feels like I want to touch this email. I want to like run my fingers over it and like feel the tiles and like the texture and like experience and like smell the bubbles. Not only is it whimsical, but I just love like how textural it is. And if you've ever been into a Lush store, you know that you're just hit by this wall of like visceral experience when you walk in. Like it smells good. They have like places where you can experience the products. I also just love the diversity of the imagery. They're showing people with different like genders and colors, and people that have like cool tattoos, people like using the products, and yeah, like even bold CTA, like a go naked, right? Like bare is always better. They're just, I don't know, it hits all the marks for me.
I love the tile so much. Like you said, just you feel like you're there, you feel the texture of it. So I think their imagery is really nice. And I noticed too they have that call to action at the top, but then everywhere else is kind of this arrow icon. So that's kind of interesting to me to see what kind of engagement they get from that. Maybe that's an opportunity to really play with the alt text, to make sure that copy is still strong even without those kind of buttons. So again, nice to see potential sales email that's not being so upfront with that. Yeah, it's so fun.
What stood out to me the most is the localization that they do. Some talk on really good emails. We get feedback all the time about most of the English, most emails that we feature are English speaking. But I really was impressed with Lush keeping this like design throughout the multiple languages in markets that they support. And a lot of these campaigns are specific to individual markets. So it's really impressive to see like kind of this visual style across different languages being included here. So
Totally. Because localization is more about just translating the copy and more about really making it relevant to that market and the culturally appropriate and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, a good example of how you can set up a design system but still play with it to incorporate personality, but based whether that's regional or based on the copy. So it's fun to see this system in place, but they are still having a lot of fun with it.
I think we're doing okay on time. Thanks for everyone sticking around. I'm having a lot of fun. We got a little bit more trends here. So we took a little sample of CTAs from the RGE library across 1,497 emails. And we saw some trends across those emails. Nothing too crazy, but I just thought we could highlight that. Hopefully we can provide a more in-depth CTA report across all the different emails maybe next year. So this is our first little sample at it. We're seeing that most, CTAs just include probably like 1 to 2 words. Shop, get, learn, view. Some of those ones definitely stood out to us. One shame that I'm going to shame the people in the chat is we only found that 55% actually met AA YCAG standards for accessibility. So definitely be checking your CTAs for accessibility. It's something that we're always trying to do as well with the new submissions on really good emails. And as you see, I'm always curious too what people think about like title case, uppercase, sentence case. There's always been a debate like which one is the best one to use for CTAs, and it's a pretty even split here. So it's interesting to see that around 3 emails per email as well. So We'll keep moving on to the next category, Winback Campaigns.
Yay. I love a win-back campaign. We've all heard the various metrics where it's like it's 7 times more profitable to keep an existing customer than it is to pay for a new one, right? So I love a good win-back campaign, SaaS, e-commerce, whatever it is. I like that we're calling it reopening the save file. If I played games,
We're having fun over here.
Yeah. So our 2 honorable mentions are from Shopify and Zapier. I've heard it's Zapier because Zapier makes you happier. I put that in the chat, and that just lives rent-free in my head now. Shopify says, come back to rewards and faster finances. Your money hustles for you when you connect it to Shopify Balance, Reconnect Balance. And so it's telling me exactly what I'm going to get when I reconnect. Let's see, get rewarded, get paid faster, earn 2% cash back, easily organize, all of these features that are probably, again, organized in the order of importance that we know. And then your Zapier trial has ended. Sad face. If you're ready to create, to continue learning and creating, you can come back. Here's the plan we recommend for you. And I like that they say, we've downgraded you, we've put you back on a free plan, but here's what you still have. And if you decide to stay on your paid plan, you'll unlock advanced functionality, AI-powered steps, multi-step automation. So it's like, this is something actually we've been talking about in my SaaS work lately. Like, how can you start people out on a full-featured plan and downgrade them without making them feel like you've thrown away their work? But like, hey, we've sort of put this little transparent gate in front of all the work you've done. You can still see it. You should upgrade or keep paying us so that you can have access to it.
It's like loss aversion, but not hardcore, just the right amount of loss aversion.
Right. You don't want to make them feel like, well, we're keeping your stuff.
Screw this. Yeah, exactly. I also love, again, like so much text in both of these, but so well balanced in terms of hierarchy, design, color blocking, use of iconography.
And we notice that we don't have a CTA in the Zapier email until we get to the plan section. So there is nowhere for us to go until we have read through or at least skimmed through the value that we're going to get.
Yeah, I think for these kinds of emails, this is where copy really, really shines, even more than, you don't need to have flashy graphic for this. We know people aren't engaging. So focusing on that main headline is really key here. And both of these do that well. But I love the bullet list, like we've talked about, but also the color blocking as a way to still make that list style without needing a bullet per se. So I love both of these.
Yeah, the winning email from Apple, very simple email, but probably one of the more popular ones on the site, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, I like that we have this 1-2 punch with the subject line, don't miss. There's that loss aversion that Justine was talking about. And then inside we flip to that more aspirational, like there's still time. It almost feels like they're doing us a favor. And then we've got that like loading graphic that matches the color on the button. And the button is accept your free trial. Again, feels like we're being given a gift, right? It's so simple. There's nothing else to do here. We have to click through and accept this free gift.
No, just across their emails, I think they do a really good job of like balancing their product updates and some of the more transactional emails that are tied to like their services, if it's Apple Cash or fitness or music or something.
I would guess, I don't know what the segmentation was for these emails, but it tends to be if you have more education or more sophistication around a product, you'll get more technical details with Apple. And so if you've been looking at MacBook Pro and haven't bought one yet, maybe they're sending this campaign to be like, hey, look at all the specs. We upgraded the RAM or whatever it is.
All right, next up, cart abandonment.
Oh, yes. My second favorite thing to talk about, which we talked about earlier, what they left behind, why it mattered, not making them feel bad if they decide not to buy from us right now, and then making it so easy and frictionless to come back and finish checking out, which even in itself feels like a sense of completion, right? Even if they're not thinking about what they're going to get. Harry's, we love a GIF with a cute little animal. Gusto does this really well in their emails too. They have like a little pig trotting along. And I like that he's moving towards something, right? He's moving his back to the cart. I know exactly what to click here. Finish shopping, speaking to that sense of completion, right? I have a preview of what's in my cart. Always want to do that in an abandoned cart email because maybe I have 15 abandoned carts and I forgot what item was from which. Last call, we have that sense of urgency in the subject line. And then Aloe is just like, hey, do you want to be hot? Here is your chance to be hot, like this girl with her waffle sweater. Come back.
Where do I get the ripped abs along with the sweater?
Yeah.
What are we buying?
Those are not
Yoga part
included.
of Aloe yoga.
Yeah, I think these kinds of emails, this is where imagery, in contrast to what I was saying with the last category, this is where imagery can really shine as that visual reminder. And even if you don't have a product imagery that is as striking as this lovely person, having some kind of animation in that headline, really stylized and a high contrast kind of graphic, is really great at grabbing your attention and being that visual reminder that you forgot something.
Definitely. And the winner here is Rebel Rabbits. Their emails are always exciting to me.
Oh yeah. See what the buzz is all about. I would like to see a little bit more of a reminder in the subject line that this is an abandoned cart. But we're showcasing the product, and it's got this, it's not just product photography, right? It's kind of like, we're psychedelic. Like, this is an appeal to the person who wants to be buzzed. Don't just take our word for it. We're not just selling seltzers. We're offering an alternative path to a world where fun, individuality, and rebellious spirit are celebrated. So that's that invitation to the in-group, right? If this resonates with you, come join us. Your people are here. And we've got all that social proof supporting the CTA. Take me to my cart. Effortless. Whisk me right away.
Yeah, this is one of those rare examples where we're combining again these different sections, having social proof in an abandoned cart email or recommending additional, bestseller items and things like that. It's pretty cool to see. So
they're also doing something fun in this copy where they're amping us up. They're leading us to the top of the mountain. And then they're doing this sort of like jokey deflation where it's like, also, we've still got your cart. So like, join us. We're amazing. We're going to get high. Also, here's your cart.
I like it kind of like they're looking out for you. It's like they could be like, hey, you forgot. But they're kind of like, just the tone of it is like, oh, by the way, we got you. We have this saved for you. Don't forget. Even though they're like, give me your money. But yeah, they do it in a nice, playful way. And I'm just a sucker for these giant headlines. I really loved giant headlines. So I love that they lean into that, because even if the graphic wasn't there, you still have that really nice headline to kind of support the message and create that, visual impact without needing an image.
Big, juicy text.
Yeah.
You always talk about minimum font size to increase accessibility and readability on mobile. And then when you just do it really well consistently through the whole brand and all of the campaigns, I love it.
Brand-wise, it looks like they're really trying to own buzz and take buzz away from alcohol, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, across these, a lot of fun CTAs. You see in that one comparison section, that's definitely a big trend. We're seeing a lot more brands have us versus them kind of modules in their emails. So across these emails, a lot of fun, interesting sections to keep people engaged. And we got a quote here from Robbie.
Oh, Robbie. We love Robbie.
Saw him in the chat too. Yeah.
Hi, Robbie. Robbie said, great email means consistently creating an experience that adds value beyond the transaction. It makes your audience feel seen and makes them excited for their next message from you. Couldn't agree more.
All right, we got B2B. B2B is boring, right?
This is the hill that I have died on so many times and will continue to die on. And you should know, Matt had to talk me down a couple times because I kept adding emails to this category and he kept being like, that's not from this year. That's image only. That doesn't have live text. And so within our parameters, we have some good yet subtle examples of personality. So let's look at our runners up. We have Plaid and Teachable. Plaid, I think, is really bringing in the personality with the graphics, right? So in a lot of these financial and banking side of things, there's not a good way to visualize that, especially to bring people into it. And they have little people dropping down on top of your phone, showing that they're literally bringing humanity into the tech side of things. They offer an invitation to come into the dev toolkit if that's what you want to do. This is obviously for a more technical audience. And I think there's a trend that we've been seeing in all of these financial banking tech emails where they're zigging instead of zagging, right? They're positioning themselves against the big institutions like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They're like, we're young and cool, we're hip, we're not like the other banks. And Plaid is doing that in a lot of their emails. And then Teachable, I think this is them rolling out their rebrand, right? One easy way to explore B2B personality is breaking that rule of copywriting that says don't ever say we, our, and us. because if you are going to take a stand and tell us who you are, you probably have to say I, we, our, us, and talk about yourself a little bit. They're splitting the difference here. You may have noticed, we look a little different today. And then they talk about the rebrand, what it's going to do for you, invite you to RSVP to an event, rolling it out. And then the thing at the bottom is the quote at the bottom, the future of learning is still deeply human, is very in line with Teachable's mission in my mind. So they're reminding us we may look different, but we are still the same people.
That italicized I in different, it is scratching some kind of itch for me. I love it so much.
I also just love the contrast. It's a very bold email, and this serif in that headline. I just love it too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the plaid email, it is all live text, definitely stands out from some of the other B2B emails. We see a lot of all image emails. So it's good that all these examples have a lot of live text in them.
Yeah. Oh, and this is one of my favorite emails from Goody, which is a gifting platform. You're invited, swag as a subject line. That's also scratching something in my brain, Megan. So you're invited, branded gifts that actually land. And this is where the personality comes in, right? Like Goody is positioning themselves as the anti-corporate gifting platform that's still appropriate. So like send better gifts that land. Sort of fun image collage style. They've got the Andy from Parks and Rec GIF. They made a meme out of their own event. And then what I really like about this webinar invite is they show you who's going to be hosting. It's not just like, join us and find out. It's these nice people. And actually one of them is the CEO. So if she's important enough to be there, I probably am too. Oh, look at their beautiful metallic hero text. It's so shiny. I love shiny things. I'm basically a magpie. As with any gifting platform, I would expect to see the gifts front and center, and they're doing that well.
Yeah, to me, this holiday gifts, I really like how they kind of switch the CTA colors. It still feels like all within their brand, but kind of matching it to those different sections. I think that was like a nice little touch that I liked a lot. And across the board, like, again, using live text in some of these like product sections, I think they do a good job for B2B.
And just overall, when I first saw these, I was like, these are B2B. Like, they don't look like, I think this is such a good example of how B2B doesn't have to be boring.
Right. People are still working at these companies.
Yes. And people are definitely buying gifts. Come on.
All right. We got our last award here, Creative Invitation. Thanks for everyone sticking around. We got some really creative emails that I want to show off.
Yeah. And this is where the really good emails platform shines because there's so many cool examples there. How do we make email new and different? I think the group of people in this room right now is the best position to answer that question of all the people in the world. Let's check out our honorable mentions. Okay, we've got Keurig and Action Rocket. K-Crema, all your favorite Keurig coffees crema style. There's coffee and there's crema. What's crema? Just in case you're left out of this whole like crema phenomenon. And then we've got Action Rocket saying you've been summoned. Again, with the tarot card trends or like the card deck trends, it makes me want to click it. It makes me want to find out what my horoscope is. You're the Oracle, apparently, Matt /Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, Action Rocket, I mean, they would win this category every year if, they always are experimenting with email, with their newsletter and across the different email work they do for clients. And I want to showcase this one because it also includes some gifts from Multiplied, which is another agency here, including like these personalized gifts that not only bring in first name, but also some metrics about you. We're kind of seeing that as like a new trend maybe of these personalized gifts, providing value in the inbox, if things can be one-to-one, trying to make them one-to-one. So, all right. And we'll look at the most creative, which is kind of a nod to Action Rocket because they made these emails. So,
right. Yeah. Walking with dinosaurs, the simplicity and visual impact of this email, inviting you to watch the trailer. They actually made the whole email feel cinematic already, which I think is very hard to do. Can we show the interactivity?
We do a little bit, a little teaser. We can click into the full email on RGE. So.
You can click to dig, which I love. They've got this like those archaeological fossil footprints. And they're doing that quiz approach that we saw, I think, in Charity Water. That's just like, hey, do you know this? And then once you get there, they're like, we're whisking you away into our landing page.
Yeah, across other emails, I really liked how a lot of emails just promote things, and to me, a lot of these experiences feel like an extension of what they're kind of showing. So it's not just an ad for a show; it's like an extension of that universe. And to do that with email, I think it feels like really cool. So
Yeah, we've seen that in a few of the quotes from email designers and creators throughout. Just like, how do we make this feel like more than an email?
speaking of quotes, we got one right
Speaking of
here.
quotes, Ben Hammond says the best emails push the boundaries of innovation while sparking real delight. Interactivity, personalization, which we all know is not just putting someone's first name in there with a merge tag, and a sense of fun help create moments that encourage fans to engage and feel more connected to the brand.
That is it for the awards. We're looking forward to 2026. Drop in the QA section if you have a specific trend that you think is going to stand out in 2026. I'll keep an eye and try to add some more emails on really good emails for that trend as well. And I just want to say congrats to all the winners. This is really fun to feature all your emails. Everyone does a fantastic job. Everyone's really a winner in my book. Like, yeah. So
Great job, everyone.
And yeah, again, thank you. Really good emails wouldn't be around if people weren't submitting their emails and creating fantastic emails. So thank you for putting emails together. And if people want to hold on for our unspam announcement, it is up to you now. Definitely submit your email designs. You don't have to wait for the email awards every year. Send in your emails throughout the year.
Give us all your emails.
Yes. And our big announcement for this year.
Woo! Another drum roll. Unspam is coming at you for all of you people that have been asking for a West Coast unspam. We are making your dreams come true. So April 2026 in Long Beach, California. Tickets are on sale right now. And you know what? Tomorrow is my birthday. And the best birthday present you could ever give me is to sell out those early bird tickets tomorrow. Can you do it? Are you up for the challenge? So yeah, you can see smiles there hanging on the old Hyatt Regency. We're just steps away from the beach. And so we got to give the people what they want. And that was an unspam in Long Beach on the West Coast. And if you don't know what unspam is, if you like this webinar, if you like really good emails, if you like the stuff that we do, this is like 2 days of summer camp for email nerds. It is a cool experience. People cry. In fact, you can see Mike cry on stage, almost guaranteed every year that happens. And so it's just a fantastic experience. You get to hang out, you get to learn a lot. And we've got a really good deal on those early bird tickets. So again, make my birthday totally awesome. And please go buy one.
Yeah, to me, unspam, both of our guests here were speakers at Unspams. Like, to me, it's a community that's like nothing else. It's not another email conference. It's totally different. You'll definitely meet people that will become like lifetime friends. So awesome. All right. Well, we got some time to chat if everyone wants to stick around. I know there's some people still here, but we'll try to answer some of your Q&A questions here.
I was just going to say, mad props to our backstage moderators here for getting a lot of these answered, but maybe we can do a couple just live for a little bit of discussion. So if I sort by most voted for, there was one person that was talking about how they were getting pressure internally to move toward image-based emails, citing that AI readers have improved making image-based emails just as accessible. And so I thought that was a really interesting anecdote. And the answer, which I totally agree with too, is that AI can be so great. I love that it's helping us make ourselves more efficient. It's helping actually make emails more accessible sometimes. But I'm just going to come back to accessibility is like a blend of hype or AI is a blend of hype and reality. And so there's some people that are adopting super quickly, and there's some people that are never going to adopt. And accessibility is about making email, your message, consumable by everyone. And so even for people that choose not or will not ever, use AI, I still think that's a very important element. And so there's lots of different reasons why live text can be better. I might be on a slow Wi-Fi connection. I might have accessibility concerns. It's just easier to even modify an email into a landing page or use it for other aspects. So yeah, anything else that the two of you would want to add, or Matt?
No, to your point, yeah, I think live text is still the way to go. There's a lot more, I think, flexibility as we saw with some of those Lush emails, like, being able to translate an email. That would be pretty difficult to then create like multiple versions or something. If it was all locked up in an image. So I think live text has that flexibility. It's a lot more easy to read. Yes, there's probably some, advances with AI, but I still think that's the way to go that we're pushing for. So
For
you
sure.
wouldn't want to experience the web as all image. So why not email?
Totally. There are a couple of interesting questions in the chat about TIFFs. Oh my goodness, I can't think and talk at the same time today. Platforms for generating GIFs and like tips for bulletproof, for tips for using dark mode. And so definitely check out the resources that are in the Q&A there. But I think another one that might be discussion worthy really quickly is a topic that comes up in almost every webinar and talk that we do, which is the primary tab instead of promotions when it comes to Gmail. And so I know I have very strong opinions about this. For some reason, there's a perception that the promotions tab is some sort of purgatory or negative or even like equivalent to spam. And the way that I prefer to look at it is a bit of a reframe. If you really want to honor the user's preference and deliver the email where they want it delivered, more often than not, that's going to be in the tab that they want, which is likely promotions. So the primary tab is where true one-to-one emails belong. And more often than not, like I'm a Gmail tab user, if a promotional email somehow sneaks into my primary tab, I'm kind of upset by that because I want to set aside the time to go look at my promotions tab when I'm ready. And so I wouldn't say like, if you're trying to circumvent Gmail's automatic placement, that typically doesn't work out well. So embrace the promotions tab. I don't know if anyone else has opinions on that.
I completely agree. It's like meet your recipient where they are, respect boundaries. It's kind of the same for dark mode too. Let's not think about how we can force it to be what we want, and rather learn how to adapt our designs, our campaigns, our copy, whatever it may be, to the user's preferred experience.
Yeah, also the bar for standing out in the promotions tab is so much lower than if you're competing with their actual like life and work emails.
Totally. And at the end of the day, I always make the point too that Gmail's core user that they're centering for is the inbox owner, not the marketer, right? And so when they develop these features, it's because their core users have asked for them. I see your favorite testimonial emails don't contain customer pictures. Do you prefer these emails with or without pictures?
I always prefer pictures. I'm just going to hop in and say it's going to build more trust to have pictures, but it's much harder to get them from people. And that's where a great review can just die on the vine because you ask, hey, is there a headshot that we can use for you? And somebody just disappears. And now we have really realistic AI generated headshots. And so pictures may not do the same job of proving that someone is real as they used to.
I was just going to say, like, I think that's an interesting authenticity play because it's like, you can just, there's even like free headshot websites out there. I'm not advocating for using them, but I think to your point, like the authenticity is harder to prove these days. And so I feel like it's probably the copywriting that's doing, when I say copywriting, like the authenticity of the testimonial itself and what it's saying versus whether or not there's a picture.
Yeah. You can also, it occurs to me, you can sidestep the permission aspect if you're using a review collection tool that allows picture upload. Usually the terms of those say, we can use this in our marketing. So if someone's like, here's me holding my new baby stroller, which, fits in my hands because my baby's really small, then they've uploaded that and given you permission to use it.
Sure.
Yeah, our Shift email winner actually does include, it was kind of cropped in the screenshot, but it does include actual like customer review photos within the email, which is kind of interesting to see, which we didn't see a lot of. So I think it's kind of like a level of UGC. If you do have good quality content to include your email, that is kind of worth. But if someone's uploading really bad, blurry kind of images, it's probably not worth showing. So
And never underestimate using a different kind of graphic too. Like in the Milk Bar example, they had their own product photography with the stars. So even something like that, if you don't have approval for a headshot or a relevant image that that person uploaded, something like to draw extra attention either with your typography or a star kind of feature, a bar. There's other kind of creative ways you could handle that.
Not me scrolling to find a copywriting question.
Well, I actually kind of have a good one. So someone said long form versus short form with the intention being high CTR.
The eternal question.
I know, one of the favorites, right?
I think long form versus short form for click-throughs doesn't matter as long as you have a CTA toward the top. Like, as long as we don't have to wait and scroll below the fold for the first CTA, it shouldn't really affect click-throughs. Same way that I build landing pages, it's like, what information does the person need to know to make a decision? When they're at that inflection point, let's serve up a CTA. If they need more information, we'll give that to them throughout the page and offer CTAs whenever they might be ready to click through.
I was just going to say, one of my favorite, I'm trying to remember the name of the brand, but the brand is putting a CTA like right in the header. And it was, I think, one of the emails that we featured in the bright and bold CTAs and the trends, because it just immediately stuck out to me, because how often do people put a CTA, like a rounded button, big old fat button, like right in like the top of the email? It was that cat food brand. What is it? Smalls. Yes, that was it. And so if you're on really good emails, go look up Smalls, because I think that is probably a really good example of how to do what you were just describing. You can definitely use long form with smart CTAs integrated.
And use sorry, can I say more things?
Yes.
Use the specific format of email to your advantage. I send a lot of text-based emails with like an italicized sort of like background info section at the top and a PS. And most of the time I'm using those CTAs for like TLDRs, here's what this email contains. If you want more information, click through right now, because everybody reads that and everybody reads the PS.
Yeah, for me, I mean, pixels are free. It's it's free to include as much text in the email as you want, and a lot of the emails that we see on really good emails do tend to be pretty long. Yeah, I think there's just some constraint there of like, is this actually useful for me to tell this person at this exact point in time? So to me, I tend to lean a little bit more focused on the shorter side and making it super clear with that CTA what action you want them to take next. So,
well, for the almost 400 of you that have been sticking around for an extra 20 minutes while we do chatter and Q&A, if you like this kind of thing, we've been holding a monthly series that we're calling Email Support Group, which is exactly this. You can ask anything. We have a rotating group of internal and external experts that sometimes show up just to answer all those questions and, well, offer email support. Call it like group therapy if you that's what you're after. So if you want more of something like this, we're holding those monthly. So I think there is a link in the chat too. So you can definitely check that out.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming to the Really Good Emails Awards this year. I had a blast. I had fun. Thank you for our guest judges for joining as well. You provide amazing insights, and thanks to the chat for sticking around a little bit longer than normal. So,
yes, this was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Being part of this.
All right. Send us your emails, and we'll see you next year.
Bye, email friends.
Peace.